Hello and welcome all dear students to this new video tutorial on topic iterative statements in Python part 1. Prior to this video, we have already discussed these 8 video tutorials whose links are given below in the description. So till date, we have studied the following topics. So before moving on to the next topic, let's quickly recap what all we have studied till date. We have studied getting started with Python. Then we have studied Python fundamentals. Then we have studied control statements in Python, where we have studied types of programming constructs. Means what are the different ways of writing a program. First was sequential, second is selective, and third what we will study today is iterative. In selective we have discussed if else, if elif, and nested if else, if you can remember. So before studying iterative statements, you must all know these topics very clearly, because if you do not know the previous topics, then you may face problem in the new topics. So I will recommend, before watching this video, kindly go through the above videos thoroughly. Okay. So today we will discuss the homework given in tutorial 8. Then we will discuss what is iterative or looping construct, and then we will discuss types of looping statements in Python. So let's start with the discussion of homework given in tutorial 8. The first question was, write a program to input any character and check whether it is a lowercase letter or an uppercase letter or a digit or a symbol. But this program we have already done in the previous video tutorial. But this time in homework you have to do this program. You have to do this program using ASCII values that we have discussed in the last video. ASCII values. I have told you that each character in Python. What is a character in Python? Let me quickly revise this. If you come across with this word character in Python, it means number 1, it can be uppercase letter whose ASCII range is from 65 to 90. Second is lowercase letter whose ASCII range is 97 to 122. Third is digits can be there whose ASCII range is 48 to 57, and these ASCII range you should always remember. You must always keep in your mind, because this is very helpful in programming, and in exam it may not be given. And fourth is symbols that you see on the keyboard. It does not have any definite range. So now you have to make use of ASCII values of characters. So we will open Python ideally, and here I am opening the previous program. I will delete this program and I will type the new program again. Now first of all, take input of character x equal to input, enter any character. Now see, X is string type because you are, keep this in mind, X is string and you have to convert this string into numeric form, but there should be numeric string. Now, is it possible to use ASCII values of characters? No. In Python, there is problem of using ASCII value. So what you may do, there is one function. Now see, there is one function ORD, and suppose if I want to find the ASCII value of A, so we can write ORD A, it is 97. See, it is giving the ASCII value of small a. Similarly, if I want to find the ASCII value of capital Z, then within single quotes write capital Z, you will get 90. So similarly here also in this program X is a string. Now first get the ASCII value of this, to take another variable B and use ORD and write X. Now what this function will give, it gives the ASCII value of character entered. Clear? Now you can check if the value of B is between 65 and the value of B is between 90, print uppercase letter. Okay, let's check this program. Enter any character. Now I am writing capital Q. It is printing uppercase letter. It means it is working. Now elif, if B is between. Now how can you check the range of values in Python? Using AND operator. This is lower limit and this is upper limit. If B is greater than equal to 97 and B is less than or equal to 122, it means it is lowercase letter. So this program can only be done with the help of ORD function. It gives the ordinal value. Ordinal value means it gives the ASCII value. So if you are noting down this program, always also write this command also in front of ORD, so that you may remember that ORD gives the ASCII value of character entered. And third range is elif B greater than equal to 48 and B less than equal to 57, print digit, and if all the conditions are false, then print special symbol. So we will run this program for each possible input. Now see, I am running this program and this is the output window. This is the program window and this is the output window. Now enter any character. I am starting with upper. Suppose capital D, uppercase letter. It is giving correct output. Now small x, lowercase letter. Again run the program, is at the rate symbol, and again run the program, 3 digit. See? So this program is, what this program is doing, it is checking whether the input character is a uppercase letter or a lowercase letter or a digit or symbol, but we are making use of ASCII values. Okay, clear? Okay, the next program was, write a program to take two numbers and check whether the first number is fully divisible by second number or not. Whether the first number is fully divisible by second number or not. So let us quickly take input int input, enter first number, again b equal to int input, enter second number. Clear? Now you have to check whether first number is fully divisible by second number or not. Means if a is divisible by b or not. It means if a mod b equal to 0 or not. If it is 0, then print divisible, else print not divisible. So it is a very easy program. Okay, now run this program. Enter first number 23, second number 4, not divisible. Again run this program. Enter first number 35, second number 7, divisible. So 35 is divisible by 7. Clear? Now in third program, you have to input marks in 5 subjects. And you have to calculate total marks, percentage marks and division. And the criteria for division is given below. Now open Python ideally. Now here input marks in 5 subjects. Now take meaningful name of the subject. Suppose physics equal to int. Their marks can be in point also, so prefer using float instead of int. Input enter marks in physics. Okay, now I will copy paste this line. Now this is chemistry, enter marks in chemistry. Now this is maths, enter marks in maths. Then English, enter marks in English. And then CS or IP, any subject you are studying, CS. Now here I have taken input of 5 marks, mean marks in 5 subjects. Now I have to find the total. So total will be total equal to physics plus chemistry plus maths plus English plus CS. Now percentage will be total upon 100, total upon 500 into 100. Okay, we are assuming that the maximum marks in each subject is 100. So the total marks will be out of 500. Now we will calculate the grade. Now take one variable grade and you can directly print the division. So now check print division. Okay, now check if per greater than equal to 60 and per less than equal to 100, then print first division. If per greater than equal to 45 and per less than 60. So here also we are checking the range of values. So second division, if per greater than equal to 33 and per less than 45, this is third division. And if all the conditions are false, or you can say if per below 33, print, it should be in small letters, print fail. And if all the conditions is false, it means user has entered invalid percentage. Okay, now run the program. Now else if I have written elif it is. So you may face some errors while typing the program. So you should know how to correct those errors, how to debug your program. Debugging means removing the errors from your program. Now enter marks in physics 45, chemistry 56, then 23, then 46, then CS suppose 12. Now division is third. Now you may also print the total marks also. So you total marks equal to total and print percentage equal to per. Okay, and then run the program again. Now see, this is the output window. Now enter marks in physics 45, 67, 12, 34, 56. Now total marks is equal to 214 and percentage is 42.8 and 42.8 means third division. Okay. Now run the program again. Now give 60 in all the subjects. See, the total marks is 300, 60% and 60% is first division. Clear? Okay. So these were the questions that we have given in the that I have given in the homework. Now let's move on to the today's topic, and this is what is iterative or looping construct. So let me remind you one thing again. From this point onwards, the complex programming starts. Now till selective construct, mean till if else or if else if, there were limited numbers of programs. Now as soon as you learn this iterative or looping construct, there will be variety of programs. So before starting this topic, before learning this topic, one must know all the concepts of the previous topics clearly. Then only you could understand this topic. Okay. So what is iterative or looping construct? Clear? Okay. Now, as you can recall that suppose I want to print hello 5 times on screen. So let me start Python IDLE again. And suppose I want to print hello 5 times on screen. So what you will do, you will print hello, you will write print hello and you will copy. You can type either you can type 5 lines of code or you can copy paste 5 times. But there will be 5 times of 5 lines of code. Now run this program, you will get hello 5 times on screen. Now if I ask you to print hello 100 times, now to print hello 100 times. So if you write print hello 100 times, how many times? 100 times. So there will be 100 lines of code, which is not an efficient way of writing the program. So the solution is, there is some way so that, तो solution क्या है? Solution ये है कि I should write print hello only one time, and this line should be executed by the Python interpreter 100 times. It means I am writing print hello one time, but interpreter will execute it 100 times. So how is this possible? This is possible using iterative construct. So in programming, whenever you feel the need to repeat the execution of statements multiple times, okay, in programming, if there is need to To repeat the execution of statements multiple times until a given condition is fulfilled, always use iterative construct. So what is iterative or looping construct? In this, a set of statements are executed repeatedly until a given condition is fulfilled. It means you can execute a set of statements. What do you mean by set of statements? Means one statement, two statements, three statements and so on. Repeatedly means बार बार आप execute कर सकते हैं, लेकिन condition जब तक fulfill नहीं हो जाती है. For example, suppose you want to print hello 100 times. Suppose you want to print first n natural numbers. Suppose first 10 natural numbers, first 15 natural numbers. You want to print the table of a number, etc. So there are so many programs where you can use iterative or looping construct. Okay. Now, what are different types of looping constructs? There are two types of loops in Python. One is for loop. This is the mostly used loop in Python. Means in the coming chapters you will use for loop frequently. So if you do not understand this for loop now, then you will suffer, because this will also be helpful in class 12 also. So whatever you are studying in class 11 is also asked in class 12 board exams. So keep this in mind. So for loop is also known as, see, aka means also known as counting loop. It counts how many times the loop is executed. And second is loop, which is typical loop. It is also known as conditional loop. But here we will discuss, in this tutorial we will discuss for loop, but we will not discuss while loop. Okay. So iterative statements mean when you want to execute set of statements repeatedly, multiple number of times, you have to use looping or iterative statements. They can be of two types, for loop and while loop. In this video, you will study only for loop. Now, what is the syntax for loop? See it properly. For variable name in range, lower limit, upper limit, step value, then colon. See, you will write for in small, then you will write the name of variable जिससे आपको लूप चलाना है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल ए बी सी. देन देयर इज वन फंक्शन रेंज. ये रेंज फंक्शन यूज होता है. सो इन रेंज, so for variable name in range, now you have to give lower limit, then upper limit and then step value. Lower limit means कहां से लूप चलाना है, अपर लिमिट कहां तक चलाना है, और हर बार वैल्यू कितने से बढ़नी है, एक से बढ़नी है, दो से बढ़नी है, तीन से बढ़नी है. दिस इज नोन एज स्टेप वैल्यू. सो आर यू गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? सिंटेक्स क्या है? फॉर के बाद वेरिएबल का नाम लिखेंगे, फॉर ए, फॉर बी, फॉर सी, इन रेंज, देन लोअर लिमिट. लोअर लिमिट मान लो मुझे 5 टाइम्स हेलो प्रिंट करना है, तो आई विल राइट लोअर लिमिट एज 1. अपर लिमिट क्या है, क्या देंगे, 5 टाइम्स करना है, 5 नहीं लिखेंगे. इसमें यही पॉइंट नोट करने वाली बात है कि अपर लिमिट जो आप देते हो उससे एक कम तक लूप चलता है. ये चीज ध्यान रखिएगा. आप जो अपर लिमिट देते हो उससे एक कम तक लूप चलता है. सो अगर आपको 5 तक लूप चलाना है तो 1,6 दीजिए. और स्टेप वैल्यू मीन्स हर बार वैल्यू कितने से बढ़ेगी, मीन्स 1 है, फिर 2 है, फिर 3 है. देन राइट स्टेटमेंट 1, स्टेटमेंट 2 एंड सो ऑन. मीन्स जितने स्टेटमेंट एग्जीक्यूट करने हैं वो लिखिए, स्टेटमेंट 1, 2 एंड सो ऑन. दिस इज द एंड ऑफ फॉर लूप. नाउ यू हैव टू कीप three things in mind. Number 1, the loop is executed from lower limit to upper limit -1. Keep this in mind कि जो आप अपर लिमिट देते हो उससे एक कम तक लूप चलता है. क्लियर? लोअर लिमिट एंड स्टेप वैल्यू आर ऑप्शनल. इट मीन्स आप लोअर लिमिट नहीं दो, कुछ नहीं होगा, स्टेप वैल्यू मत दो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं, कोई एरर नहीं आएगा. but upper limit is compulsory. तो जब हम लोअर लिमिट नहीं देंगे, स्टेप वैल्यू नहीं देंगे, तो क्या होगा? थर्ड पॉइंट, बाय डिफॉल्ट लोअर लिमिट इज 0. अगर आप लोअर लिमिट नहीं देते हैं तो लूप कहां से स्टार्ट होगा, 0 से, और स्टेप वैल्यू नहीं देंगे तो वो 1 1 से बढ़ेगा। तो ये चीज जो मैंने पढ़ाई ये तब तक क्लियर नहीं होगी until and unless we discuss an example. So first remember the syntax, क्योंकि syntax जितनी जल्दी आपको याद होगा उतनी जल्दी आप आसानी से प्रोग्राम कर सकते हैं without seeing the syntax from the copy. अगर आपको syntax बार बार कॉपी से देखना पड़ रहा है मतलब प्रोग्रामिंग आपको नहीं आ रही है, प्रोग्रामिंग नहीं आएगी। So for variable range, name in range, lower limit, upper limit, step value. So let's start with the first program. Example 1, write a program to print hello 5 times. Okay, now here is the syntax. Let me clear this. Okay, now this is the Python IDLE. This is Python IDLE. Now I am writing the program. Now see the syntax and I am writing the program. First for example, for variable name a in. Are you getting? See, in the upper portion the syntax is written for variable name in. So I have written for a in. Then I will write range. Now I have to print hello how many times? 5 times. The objective of this program is to print hello 5 times. Okay. So for a in range, now lower limit will be 1. You can keep lower limit as 1. Now upper limit you will not keep 5 because जो भी आप upper limit देते हो उससे एक कम तक लूप चलता है. Okay. So the loop is executed from lower limit to upper limit -1. So what you will give here? You will write 6 and then step value means हर बार कितने से बढ़े? एक एक से. Very easy. Now what you have to print? देखिए इंडेंट करके लिखना है. इंडेंट मीन्स लेफ्ट से शिफ्ट करके लिखना है. ऑटोमेटिक शिफ्ट हो जाएगा, नहीं है तो यूज स्टेप की प्रिंट हेलो. See? Now I am writing print hello how many times? 1 time. But it will print it how many times this program? 5 times. See? For a in range 1, 6, 1 print hello. Now run this program. See the output is, it is printing hello 5 times. Now suppose if I write 51 here, what this program will do? It will print hello how many times? The loop will be executed from 1 to 50, क्योंकि जो आप अपर लिमिट देते हो उससे एक कम तक चलता है. Now it will print 50 hello 50 times. See, you can count it. Okay, so the syntax is very simple. Write for के बाद variable name, then in, then range is the name of function. लोअर लिमिट दीजिए कहां से चलना है, अपर लिमिट कहां तक चलना है. बस ये ध्यान रखिएगा कि अपर लिमिट से एक कम तक लूप चलता है, और फिर स्टेप वैल्यू क्या देनी है, मतलब कितने से बढ़ना है, 1 to 50. So the first program is clear. Okay, have you noted it down? Okay, now the next program. Program to print first 10 natural numbers. You have to print first 10 natural numbers again. Now there are two ways to write this program. One is inefficient way of writing a program and other is efficient. To print first 10 natural numbers. Okay. Now see what I will do. There is one way, print 1 or print 1, then print 2, print 3 and up to print 10. Is this an efficient way? If I ask you to print first 100 natural numbers, then you have to write 100 lines of code. This is not an efficient way of writing. Okay, now the efficient way of writing the program is using for loop. Now write for variable name a in range. Syntax is clear. Now first 10 नेचुरल नंबर मीन्स 1 से स्टार्ट होगा और कहां तक जाएगा 10 तक, तो यहाँ 11 लिखिए और एक एक से बढ़ेगा. अब क्या करें प्रिंट. बहुत से बच्चे कहेंगे सर लिखेंगे नेचुरल नंबर. नाउ सी द आउटपुट. It will not print natural number, it will print the message natural number 10 times. See, आपको नेचुरल नंबर प्रिंट कराने हैं. नेचुरल नंबर मीन्स द आउटपुट शुड बी 1 2 3 4 up to 10. Here the message is getting printed. So what you have to do, you have to print the value of a. Okay, now the output is correct. See, you are getting first 10 natural numbers. Now some students will write a like this. I have told you whatever you write within single quotes is treated as a message. It will be printed as it is. So it will print a 10 times. You have to print the value of a. Because a loop कहां से कहां तक चल रहा है 1 से 10, तो a को ही print करा दिए. So it is first 10 natural numbers. Suppose if I ask you to print first 50 natural numbers, so you write 1 comma 50 50 or 51 51. It will print first 50 natural numbers. See, clear? So second program is also clear. Print first 10 natural numbers. So this loop is very easy. Now the third program. Write a program to print all odd numbers from 1 to 10. Very good program. All odd numbers from 1 to 10. Now there are two logics for this program. To print first 10 odd number, to print odd numbers from 1 to 10. Now there are two logics. There are two logics. दो लॉजिक हैं इस प्रोग्राम को करने की. नंबर वन, those numbers that are not divisible by 2 are odd numbers. Okay, मीन्स हम उसको नंबर को किससे मॉड करें 2 से और वो 0 ना हो. फर्स्ट लॉजिक. एंड सेकेंड लॉजिक इज are those numbers, odd numbers are those numbers that starts with 1 and then proceed with the gap of 2. एक से स्टार्ट होते हैं और दो से प्रोसीड करते जाते हैं और बढ़ते जाते हैं. then proceed means that increased, then incremented with the gap of 2. तो हमें सेकंड लॉजिक करनी है कि 1 से स्टार्ट करेंगे. ये अभी फर्स्ट लॉजिक नहीं, ये हम लोग सीखेंगे लेकिन बाद में इन द कमिंग वीडियो ट्यूटोरियल्स. आर दोज नंबर दैट स्टार्ट्स विद 1 एंड देन इंक्रीमेंटेड विद द गैप ऑफ 2. तो ये करना है हमें. तो चलिए लूप चलाइए. फॉर ए इन रेंज 1 से स्टार्ट कीजिए. कहां तक जाना है 10 तो 11 और स्टेप वैल्यू क्या कर दिए 2. So how many of you are getting this? 1 से लूप चलाइए, 10 तक जाना है तो 11 लिखिए और हर बार वैल्यू कितने से बढ़ानी है 2 से. तो इसका आउटपुट क्या आएगा 1, फिर +2 3, फिर +2 5 और अंदर क्या लिख दिए प्रिंट a. Now see, it will print all odd numbers from 1 to 10. Clear? So what this third value is step value. Now let us recall these 3 points. The first point was the loop is executed from lower limit to upper limit -1. पहले ये वाला पॉइंट डिस्कस करते हैं. अब फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर मैंने यहां दे दिया 1, 10, 1, ये भी हटा देते हैं. अब बताइए कहां तक प्रिंट करेगा 1 से 9 या 1 से 10? It will print from 1 से 9. 1 से कहां तक आ रहा है? 1 से 9 तक प्रिंट हो रहा है. ओके, सो यानी अपर लिमिट से एक कम होता है. ओके, सेकंड पॉइंट, लोअर लिमिट एंड अपर लिमिट्स एंड सॉरी लोअर लिमिट एंड स्टेप वैल्यू आर ऑप्शनल. समझिए इसका क्या मतलब है, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है ये. लोअर लिमिट एंड स्टेप वैल्यू आर ऑप्शनल. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, if I write for a in range and if I write only 5, then also the program will run. So here 5, what you have to do here, 5 is treated as upper limit. Keep this in mind, because I have already told you that output based questions are also asked in the exam. So you should know what happens if I write only single value inside the range function. So here 5 will be treated as upper limit. And see, the third point is, by default lower limit is 0 and step value is 1. So can anybody tell what will be the output of this if I write print a? So if I write for a in range 5, print a, so here lower limit will be 0 and step value will be 1 by default. ओके, सो आउटपुट क्या आएगा, 0 से लेके 4 तक. क्या आउटपुट आएगा, 0 से 4 तक. सी, आई एम अगेन रनिंग द प्रोग्राम. 0 से स्टार्ट होगा और अपर लिमिट से एक कम तक जाएगा, तो कहां तक जाएगा, 4 तक. क्लियर? Again, second example, you can write this also. Suppose if I give 10, what will be the output? It will start from 0 till 9 और वैल्यू कितने से बढ़ेगी, 1 से. तो 0 से 9 तक प्रिंट हो रहा है. चलिए अच्छा बताइएगा, 10,2 what it will print, और 10,3. तो 0 से स्टार्ट होगा, स्टार्ट फ्रॉम 0 और फिर 3 के गैप में प्रिंट कीजिए. नहीं होगा, यहां पे फिर देना पड़ेगा, बाय डिफॉल्ट नहीं लेगा, क्योंकि बाय डिफॉल्ट वैल्यूज क्या होंगी, अगर आपको 3 देना है तो यहां स्टार्ट वैल्यू भी देनी पड़ेगी. ओके, सो इफ आई राइट 1, 10, 3, इट मीन्स 1 से लेके 9 तक जाएगा और 3 के गैप में. सो 1, 4, 7. क्लियर? So now note down the programs for your homework. Now the first program is, you have to print all even numbers from 1 to 10. Second program, you have to input any number n. You have to input any number n and you have to print its table up to 10 terms. Now example is, if n is equal to 5, suppose user n की वैल्यू दे रहा है 5, तो ये आउटपुट दो तरीके से आना चाहिए. पहला आउटपुट देखिए, ये दो फॉर्मेट में आउटपुट आना चाहिए. एक फॉर्मेट में तो सिर्फ रिजल्ट आए 5, 5 1 जा 5, और दूसरे फॉर्मेट में टेबल फॉर्म में प्रिंट हो 5 into 1 equal to 5. अगेन यहाँ 10 प्रिंट हो तो यहाँ प्रिंट हो 5 into 2 equal to 10. मतलब ये प्रोग्राम अलग बनाना है, ये सेपरेट बनाना है, अलग मिक्स नहीं करना है. पहले प्रोग्राम में सिर्फ रिजल्ट आए कि 5, 10, 15, 20, और दूसरे आउटपुट में क्या है कि आउटपुट आए लेकिन टेबल फॉर्म में आए. ओके, एंड थर्ड प्रोग्राम इज, you have to print the square and cube of all numbers from 1 to 20. You have to print the square and cube of all numbers from 1 to 20. Okay, So these three programs you have to do on your own. Practice it in rough copy. Don't write down in fair copy. After the discussion, note these programs in fair copy. So each and every program that we have discussed in this video tutorial and in the homework, it should be noted down in the fair copy itself, and no other copy you have to prepare. Okay, so that's all for today. The next video lecture will be on iterative statements in Python part 2. Okay, we will continue with the for loop, and we will learn other things, what things can be done using for loop. So thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Take care and goodbye.